Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So I'm going to record this. I'm not going to do this live because if it sounds in the slightest way very off, I'm going to toss this into the dustbin. Just an interesting note or interesting thought, and I think I'm right. But I'm going to go for it. My wife and I, we're just getting back, mani pedis, and I'm walking back to the room and I'm like, hey, what are you about to do? Because I wanted to do videos. And I wanted to make sure she was okay. Like, if it's something there, yes, we're supposed to be doing something together. I kind of want to know. So she says, my breasts are a bit warm or a bit cold. And I said, well, I'll check the heat in the house and I'll see what the heat is. And I said, all right, I turned it up to 74. She's like, yeah, that's not exactly what I was going for. It's like, what are you talking about? She says, well, I was saying that because I was hoping that you would come and warm them up. And I said, then you probably should have said, please come here and suck my tits. And then she says, oh my God, that sounds crass. Now, I agree with her. It does sound crass. And I said, but it communicates exactly what you're trying to get across, right? Like, there is no ambiguity about the conversation at all. I perfectly understand what you're saying at that point. And then I kind of, as I sat there, I asked the question, I was like, well, wait a minute, why does that sound crass? Like, if I said to myself, I'm going to go murder a mofo, I'm going to murder a motherfucker tonight. Now, you may say, oh, dude, are you sure you want to do this? Do you want to calm down a little bit and think about it? Oh, you may say all these things. But it sounds crass, would never really come across. You can say that in a movie and it sounds perfectly okay. The suck tits thing in the movies, again, sounds crass. Why? Why does it sound crass? I think it's because we're puritanical about sex. I think that it's not the words that sound crass. It's the act itself. It's in the person's head when they're thinking about it. It's not so much as, it's like, it's what I want. It's what I want in this particular moment. But saying that that's what I want sounds crass. There's this puritanical thing, this religious element to our society that's infested in us in this way. It's infected us. So ideas of sex, yeah, no, that sounds bad. That sounds crass. But violence, that's perfectly okay. And to make that point, artists, musical artists, they say all sorts of bad things, at least from that standpoint. All sorts of dirty and nasty things. But they say it in a way where they've made a career out of crafting language that gets across exactly what the person wants without actually saying that that's what that particular person wants. So I would sing a song, I would talk about making love. Ultimately, what they're talking about is having sex and sucking tits in the same way that I said it. The difference is they don't tell you exactly what's taking place. It's in euphemism. It's in this flowery rhetoric that makes it sound epic and awesome and all this other stuff. But in reality, brass tacks, what they're talking about is sucking tits and putting penises in vaginas. That's what's going on. They don't say that. They don't show no movies. Captain Kirk, you never see Captain Kirk having sex with the green chick. Never. It would never happen. You would never see him stroking, just getting in it. It would never take place. Never take place. We have a puritanical version of reality in our head, some chip that's infected us from the beginning, from the very beginning. It's almost like a basis in the culture itself that's fundamentally infested. Each and every one of us has infected the society itself. John Wick can murder 100 people in a movie. If John Wick tries to have sex with 100 women, John Wick is going to be in a porno and it's going to be X-rated. Why is violence okay, but sex is so naughty and so lucid? Something comes up in the media. This person had sex with this person. It's like, oh my God. What else? What happened? Tell us what happened. Were they sucking tits? Did you take your pants down? These interviews where they're talking to these people in these lurid affairs. I mean, I think I am right. I don't think it's the language. I think it's the act. It's the thought. It's this puritanical thing that's infected each one of us. Where saying it, even saying the word, being explicit, is somehow sent through this filter of, ugh, that sounds too harsh. That sounds too harsh. My breasts are cold. Well, my breasts are cold. I need them to be warmed up. That's okay. But to get across exactly what you yourself specifically is thinking at that particular moment can somehow is, even though you're communicating perfectly, the communication needs to be shrouded in obfuscation of what your actual intentions are. because it sounds crass. I don't think it sounds anything. You're getting across the exact same thing. You're just putting it in a different filter. But everybody knows exactly what it means. One sounds okay, the other doesn't. I suspect it's because one gets across specifically what you're talking about. And if you're talking about sex is naughty, and you're being explicit about that particular behavior, oh, that's too much. That sounds crass. That sounds crass. I think I'm right. I think this is Christianity infecting our language. Like you know, we think we're post ideology, and yet we hold on to these particular things. So people talk about orgies, people talk about sex, all this stuff. No. Even in language. It's amazing. It's very specific to what you want, but you can't say what you want. Like, you as a human being can't tell another human being exactly what you want. I'm fascinated by that. And we were sitting there, and I was like, I think this is right. And at this point, she's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know what you just said, but maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna end this. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if posting this up. I probably do. Yeah, I probably do. I don't care. I'm fascinated by this just from the standpoint of how us human beings accept one thing, but the other not so much. One is good, the other is not so much, and yet the thing that's bad, that we as a society for the most part condemn, we openly allow it and we're openly okay with it. But at the same token, the thing that actually brings life into the world and emits pleasure and joy, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. You can't even talk about it. You can't even communicate it. Yeah, I'll end this here. This is not a long one. This is just I think I am right. Just an argument anyway. I think I'm right. Alright, guys. Thank you.